welcome to Shadowtalk. My name is Lisa, and tonight I am your host. Lucky you. Tonight we are sitting down with the amazing Brandon Kroll. He was on our show a while ago, and thankfully he is joining us again tonight. He doesn't need an introduction, but if you do need an introduction, this guy is our conspiracy theorist friend. He brings in symbology, he brings in words, he brings in history, he brings in ancient civilization, he brings in basically anything and everything. And in our pre-show, we were talking X-Files, all of the cool TV shows that we used to watch way back when, and how do they connect with today's alien disclosure, all of the above, and the weird stuff that is going on. Hey, Brandon, so excited to have you here. Hi.
Hey, thanks for having me back on. I'm looking at like the last time we did a show, and was it like almost 7 to 8 months, I think now.
Sure.
That's scaring me how fast time's flying these days.
Yeah. It's mental, right? Because I thought it was only a couple of months ago, and then I was like, holy moly, actually closer to a year.
Yeah. Right. Scaring me. I'm getting
it's just what happens when you're like when you're getting older. Yeah, you're just graying it out. Me too.
Hey, salt and pepper.
You look demure. Look at you. Demure. Very Mulder, X-Files. He is also quite demure now. Hey, you have been basically everywhere. You show up on my algorithm all the time, which is just such a blessing. I get to listen to all of your bits and pieces and the content that you're putting out all the time. What is one of the exciting things that you've got going on at the moment? What is going on in the world of Krollology?
So I got learn and then the world of Krollology. You froze for about 10 seconds.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not helpful in any part. I said, what is going on in the world of Krollology at the moment? What is some of the fun stuff that you've got going on?
Reading a bunch of books. I've been really appreciating two authors as of late, Albert Parsons and Peter Kropotkin. I like looking into a lot of sociology. What you were describing is a little bit more anthropology, ancient worlds and stuff like that. Sociology is applying it a little bit more to the modern home front, what you read in the past, and kind of going like, okay, so what do we do now with our modern world? And just re-looking at how money is a really corrosive factor in our society. Every transaction is always based on a monetary exchange, as opposed to just being charitable and being nice, not thinking what your left hand and right hand is doing, just, mutual aid. So yeah. And then Albert Parsons is going into a guy that was martyred for the Haymarket massacres of 1886. It was a riot that ensued because someone tossed a bomb, and then they said it was all these anarchists. The anarchists were actually not terrorists. They were actually were against government. Somebody in the crowd took it to the extreme, and again, they wanted to frame all the people that were advocating for it. So he wrote a book, and he was explaining about the difference between chattel slavery and wagedom, which is the modern version of capitalism. And that kind of made me raise my eyebrow going, see, this is the stuff I want to learn more about, because you hear these arguments, but you're like, okay, so it's not necessarily Marxism. Marxism is one extreme of statism, and then you have capitalism, which is what we do here in the good old US of A, where everybody's like, you're not the good guy here. Like, I know you try to do all these big patriotic movies and make yourselves look like the good guys, but you're the Empire in Star Wars, and I think you need to realize that. And a lot of us just don't seem to know how to piece that together here in the stateside. So reading about this is just very enlightening. The downside is it's very controversial in most circles and spheres, because they're over here like, we are unapproachable to be cross-examined with the way our society runs. And I find that tragic, but it's a field that I love investigating. And of course I had to stop talking right when you had a cough. I'm so sorry. Couldn't talk for like 2 seconds more.
So in our pre-show, we were talking about money and how evil it is. Money is the root of all evil and all that sort of stuff. In New Zealand, like that's where I'm based, at the arse end of the world, way, way, way down towards Antarctica. where we don't get anything. We don't hear any news and all that sort of stuff. And that's what I said to Brandon earlier. I was like, look, anything that you think is just kind of, you've heard it all in the States, tell me, because we are so sheltered down in New Zealand. We don't get very much kind of information, especially like of our sort of industry and our community and stuff. But in New Zealand, one of the big things that we do is we do contra deals. We share stuff, we share skills and trades and that sort of stuff. And that was kind of one of the thoughts that kind of spurred from that little short conversation that we had in pre-show, Brandon, was, you know, like, yeah, we do this kind of contra deal stuff where we share skill sets. I really feel like when you're forcing people to pay and that expectation is to pay money all the time, you miss out on who that person is, right? It's that whole like, in our neighborhood, we used to know everyone, in town, and you'd go out and you'd never lock your doors. And I know that that's the way that the US used to be in the small towns and that sort of stuff as well. And I really feel like part of the money issue is that separation, or that, I guess, anonymity, right? You don't have to be held accountable for your actions. You don't have to know people. You don't have to know your neighbor. You don't have to get involved with your community. You can literally just be a person within a community, but not actually actively engaged within that space.
Yeah, it makes you view everybody through a economic prism, if you will. And I think that grieves my heart, because I think that dehumanizes us, as you're implying. It dehumanizes us from having compassion and empathy for what other people are going through. And as well, because we're so busy chasing the carrot on the stick of having to get $1 to pay for rent, to, you know, taxes, so on and so forth, we're kind of losing our passions. Like, you know, for instance, we're doing podcasting stuff. A lot of people, like for me, they're like, oh, I just want a free consultation. But I'm supported from the viewers and listeners, right? It's like PBS. I have the time to do this because people are funding that. It's a passion project of mine, but it's not possible without the listeners, right? 100%. Whereas if I was forced to work my 8-hour, you know, clock in from 9 to 5, I don't really have any time for me. I come home, got to do laundry, got to cook dinner, got to, you know, cram in some sleep. Do I have time to read? I'm not really in the mood. So I watch a movie and that's it. Right. Yeah. And we're kind of losing our inner selves. Like I was saying to my buddy, I was like, are you going to college to get a degree that's going to get you more money? Or are you going to learn something you're interested in, something you're passionate about? And you're like, well, money. I'm like, see, that's the sad part. You're gravitating towards money, as opposed to, you could be somebody in your field that will break, you know, whatever that most people never thought of before, but because you were convicted, I need to get money to get ahead, we lost a potential right there. I think
bang on.
That's what Kropotkin was saying, is that we should need to portion it out, maybe 4 hours work, 4 hours doing your passion project. I think it was fields, factories, and workshops, I think is what his thesis is on that particular topic. But I was like, yeah, or for me as a writer, I was like, once in a while when you're having the writer's block, maybe take a couple weeks off. You're like, you know what, I don't want to do that, blah, blah, blah. But once you get that passion and that clicks, hit it real hard and then go back to that pattern, right? Whereas if we're constantly compelled, it's economic compulsion, right? If you don't come back to work, you won't be able to afford to live in the society that I created for you.
Sure, yeah. And it's horrible. And, you know, like I used to work with youth, like kind of, you know, teenagers, 11 years old to about 18. And we used to do creative technology and teach them Photoshop and drumming and all this sort of cool stuff, you know, that you wouldn't necessarily learn at school per se, or at home for that matter. And these kids had no imagination, man. Like, and this was 10 years ago. And I'm sitting there going, use your imagination. And they had like kind of, I don't know, 30% or 40% of their imagination in comparison to what we had, because we didn't grow up with screens. We literally had to use our imagination to make anything work. And I think that's a direct correlation and connection to our passion projects, right? I mean, I'm 45. I'm of the kind of place now in my life where I'm like, cool, I know what I'm really good at. I know what makes me really super happy, and I know what makes me sparkly on the inside. But if you're growing up in this sort of space, thank you, my darling. If you're growing up in this sort of environment where screen time is your kind of your go-to, and you no longer use your imagination, and you have
Mm,
no idea what connects to your soul and makes you feel really sparkly and happy, oh my God, you're screwed. Like, imagine what
mm,
your adulthood's going to be like. We're literally creating these generations of adults growing into this hamster wheel of society, right? Where it's just
mm,
100% money based. And yeah, the conversation about going to university of, you know, I'm in this with my son at the moment who's 18, and I'm like, what are you going to go and study? And he's like, oh, do I sell my soul and go into criminal justice? Or do I
mm.
go and do zoology and play with elephants all day? I'm like,
Zoology.
elephants. 100%, right? Like, don't sell your soul for money, because at the end of the day, when things get really, really hard and you no longer like this place that you're in, you are stuck in it.
Right.
And it's the one thing that you should always strive for, is that thing that makes you feel really happy on the inside, because when life gets really tough, you can go back to that and know that you still really love it.
Hmm. When
Yeah.
I was working in an industrial job, and I think that's kind of where it started with me, just saying like, there's something messed up here. It's like you're mistreating
Mm.
these people because they don't speak English, but they work a lot of hours, but you're manipulating them, and that really was just something that irked me. Just observing that as the English speaker, I'm always advocating for the underdog. That's just has always been my thing since I was little. But when I was telling the guy, I said I'm going to be quitting, and he's a Chinese Mongolian gentleman. And he
Mm.
was like, "But why?" And he says, "You're making good money. You just got a raise and stuff like that." And then he's like, "You know what? Do you like what you're about to do?" I was like, "Teaching? Yeah." He says, "Then do it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "You know what? You know, like you're always like looking to the guru. This was the guy. Is like just a coworker." But when he paused and he was like, that's what's more important is you're doing a passion project, something you love to do. That's
Mm.
more important than the money thing that I just brought up. It was almost like I'm sorry, you're right. If that's something you
You're right.
love, pursue it with everything you got. And I was like, I kind of want to give you a hug, bro. I know it's kind of weird these days, but that's what you're looking for. Like when you're just asking with your son, it's like you could be part of a system of oppression, right? And sell your soul in essence, or you get to work with elephants, right? Or just a caretaker of animals, which if we
Yeah.
think pre-city, that's what we
Yeah.
were supposed to do, biblically speaking, is tend to the animals.
Sure.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And it's interesting, right? The society is slowly kind of moving back into this grow your own food, collect your own water, look after your own backyard, like, you know, connect with nature and culture and all that sort of stuff more, which I absolutely love, because in New
Mm,
Zealand, you know, we put a seed in the ground and it grows sort of situation. It's not hard. Like, there's no need for anyone to have no food in New Zealand, right?
mm,
Especially in somewhere like New Zealand. And there is a shit ton of poverty and homelessness and people that are struggling for food. And I'm like, put a seed in the ground. Like, it's not difficult. You could just go down the side of the road there and just shove a seed in the ground and it will grow a fruit tree, you know, and you can live. And so,
well,
yeah, it's
yeah.
that mentality, eh? It's like, it's such a closed, like oppressive mentality of you must be in this space and you can't get to a higher vibrational frequency or whatever that happiness looks like, because you have to stay in this environment.
I don't know if it's so much about frequencies and stuff like that. I do think that a lot of it is self-imposed constraints, and the
Sure.
other half is the fear, like it's the conformity fear. I call it status codependent Stockholm syndrome. Property is theft, and I know we'll share clips from, I think it was Hell on Wheels. And I'm planning on reposting at some point, where they were talking to the Indian saying like, we already drew up all this legislation. We're going, like, whether you're going to take it or not, the government's going to take the land. He's like, but you don't own it. It's
Yeah.
like, yes, we do. It's like, I don't care about your documents. Like, you don't own the land. And that's biblical. Leviticus 25:23. Or is it 23:25? One of the two. Very. It says you don't own the land. Property
Yeah.
is theft. Like you just said, if I have the seed and I'm able to plant it, then that's mine. But then the government will come over, or some person will be like, that's my yard.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Is it?
Right, and that's where you should be
Mm.
thinking is like, you know what, I'm always complaining about the poor, but I'm not exactly offering them a spot in my lawn to plant said seed so that they can continue to feed themselves.
Yeah.
um I don't know.
Double-edged sword in that space, isn't it? You know, like, it's in so in New Zealand, for example, we have more sheep per capita than than people, right? So we have like 4 sheep to every person or something crazy like that. Because we're like, we like our sheep. We like eating them and they keep us warm. And we love them.
I have some products from New Zealand, Australia area. You guys make some cool products. I'm not here in the
we
States.
do.
We got the Timu crab.
Oh God, no. Do you know what? We have a Temu warehouse that's just opened in New Zealand and I'm like, just say no, boo. It's all just disgusting plastic. Anyway, so in New Zealand, like everyone congregates into the to the main hubs, right? Which is, human. Okay, I get it. But if you just like walk your way out about probably 10 minutes down the road, there's just like spacious, like just openness. And you can pretty much put a stake in the ground and be like, okay, I'm going to live here, not a problem. And you get left alone and all good. But everyone wants to live within this kind of little concrete jungle sort of space. And it's like, man, just come on out, come on down. We're about an hour and a half out of the main city.
Nice.
And it's awesome. And housing is really, really affordable, super cheap. You can literally come and live on my front lawn. It's huge. Like, I don't mind, but people don't want to. They want it. They've got that kind of, I need to stay within the city and be within this space. It does my head in. I'm like, there are so many opportunities that you could take, but you have to change the mindset and step out of what has been created for you, I guess.
Well, and that's part of the thing. I've been reading another author, Jacques Ellul, and he wrote The Meaning of the City. And that book is like, he's like, a city thrives on life from the outside in order to function. It's like a vampire, but you have, you got to welcome it in order to be a city. And I'm like, crap. And he's connecting it how it connects with Cain and building fortified cities. Whereas it was like that. There was necessarily a thing. This guy was supposed to be cursed as a wanderer. So he builds like cities as a security blanket. And then now we get caught up in the, Hegelian dialectics of politics, polis, the affairs of the cities. Right? And we're arguing all this minutia crap, but we're not really like, you know what? I care about you as another human being. I don't care about, putting me on a spectrum in a collective or a party. I just care about you as another human being. I was actually, side note, I was looking into the etymology for the word idiot. We really
oh my God, I've got a pen. Hit me.
We really got to start calling people morons. Because idiot stems from the Greek idiotes, so just add idiot with es at the end. You can Google me. And it's a private person that didn't want to take part in the affairs of the city, politics. So you don't want to do this? Like, no, I'm done. I'm not doing this, that, the other thing. Is like, I'm a private person. Leave me alone. So I was like, so technically anarchists would be idiots. Because I'm against the concept of rulers. I'm just a private person doing my own thing. So I was like, now every time somebody says idiots, I'm like, I think you mean moron, because that. And by the way, there is a scale between idiot, moron, and something else. Like, I think it was imbecile, gauging how stupid somebody is. You can look into it, folks. I'm sorry, but etymology is a funny thing.
And I love that about you, because you school me on so many things, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's so interesting. But I guess like the question is who set up the scale in the first place, right? Is it the perception from the government saying you're an idiot because you're not connected to what we're doing and you're not listening to us?
Or conspiracy theorists.
Somebody else? There you go. You're a conspiracy theorist, so you're an idiot. Sure.
You're an idiot.
I'll take that hat. I'm going to take that hat.
It doesn't really change. It's like, and I'm almost wanting to do like I don't know, anarchists are idiots as a t-shirt, and some people will be like, oh yeah, I agree with that. It's like, no, like here's the etymology for that.
Maybe you don't understand that t-shirt quite well enough.
It's funny because that's kind of some of the parts that I love is when we start even saying a culture war. Cult means worship, means practice. So worship, practice, war. Interesting, right? And then you can start breaking down that. It's like, don't you think you're being a bit, didactic with trying to get down the exact etymology? He's like, etymology is sometimes better than the actual definition written there, because you start understanding why it was said in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
You always
know why you're saying what you're saying.
It's the same with like, cryptid stories and like these sort of things in the lore of the land and folklore we put into quotation marks, especially down here in the South Pacific. The lore that we deal with here, hundreds, if not thousands of years old, that have been passed along the chain of, elders. And, like, go back to the start, because that's
Yeah.
the original story. Why would you try and jump in at, like page 270 when you've missed the entire context, the whole setup, the whole world building, the whole everything? Like, go back to the start and learn it from the beginning, and then you'll understand how it's changed and what
Yes.
we're getting now. Because what we're getting now is the I don't know, the manipulated version. Is it fair to say? The
Manipulated, or it's
adjusted
been
version.
filtered so long. I call it like the Babel effect, or deity
Mm.
telephone. Like we're trying to dissect. Well, is this one or this one that one? It's like, well, again, the equivalent in this culture means this. This is what this means here, and this is what his name means in this culture. And you can start kind of grafting out what exactly something is supposed to mean, right?
Mm.
Um, I think there's a couple of books I've been compiling, and I always think of it in the Babel mindset. As like the I think another one was Neil Postman talking about the American language. There's another girl that I just recently saw a clip on Instagram, and I was like, oh, you wrote a book. I want to, like, the death of languages,
Oh, cool.
and talking about how, like, what the Native Americans, this group, like, they get wiped out, but some of their words are what's still left here. And some of that, it's like I like compiling like a junkie. Like, oh, this book, I said, this one's written in the 1800s. This one's written in 1960. This one's written like 2 years ago. But piecing that together, I think, is important. And while my mother might say, oh, there you go with your useless trivia bits again. It's like, well, somebody needs to be in the village to remember the ancient ways. Like, come on.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah. You need me.
Right. It's like, well, I saw, I can't remember if I still have it on my phone, that says we instantaneously recognize this, and it was showing a whole bunch of logos like Nike, so on and so forth. But how many
Mm.
people recognize what these are? And then it was showing a different variation of leaves and plants and stuff like that. Like, you don't even know the names of those today. And I was going, oh, that hit me. That hit me. But it's that prompt of going, I need to do better from where I'm at. If that's something that interests me, I want to learn about it, and or I want to be part of a community where that's that person's focus, right? This is
Yeah,
what they
yeah.
study in. This is what they know. I want to go to that class, which is, as you were just saying, kind of build a community. Like, if you have the skills, you're the person I want to study under for the tutelage.
For sure. Yeah. You're not going to go and choose the C grade student. You want the best of the best, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I love that you brought that up, because so our operations manager, our amazing ops manager, because we have one of those. I know, pretty cool. Eh? Do you have one?
I wish. I've been trying to get somebody to partner up with me.
Do you want one? I'm just selling her off now.
She's saying, as long as she's
here, but I'm selling her off. Our amazing ops manager, Alison, is she is Māori from New Zealand. And so she came over last weekend, and we ended up having a quick little catch up with my poor little disgusting sick baby. I was like, get in the car. We're driving up to the ops manager. And we had the opportunity to go up to a place called Wanganui, which is a very spiritual place, super amazing, in the middle of the North Island, kind of on the west coast. And they've got a huge river that comes through, very energetical space. And she was telling me about her learnings that she's doing at the moment. She was brought up in a shaman kind of practicing space where in New Zealand we have tohunga, who are the medicine men or the medicine women, right? Who are basically the elders in the tribes that would heal or would do a whole heap of other things, but would mostly use plants and medicines and that sort of stuff to heal people and bits and pieces like that. But they also could levitate things, and they could also, cast spells and curses and all sorts of other bits and pieces. But one of the things that they could do was levitate things, right? And so I was like, okay, levitation, you've got my ears, cool, teach me. And they've there's a whole heap of markers in New Zealand called po, which are these giant, essentially giant trees that they cut down and then rammed into the ground, right, as these marking points. And they're connected to stars, constellations, all of this sort of stuff, but also other spiritual connection points and things like that, right? And so I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Under my understanding, throughout the years, basically the Māori warriors would just get them into the ground somehow, dig a hole, whatever. No, the point is apparently these tohunga would levitate these giant posts, and we're talking the Kauri trees in New Zealand are, I don't know, like 50 meters longer, 150 meters, huge and very, very large trees. Cut them off at the bottom, levitate them, and then ram them into the ground using their levitation. And those have been in there for hundreds of years, right? And they are deep, super, super, super deep. And so I was like, okay, cool. Is this what the Egyptians did to float them down the Nile with the same sort of kind of energy levitation thing? Is this what they did to build the pyramids through
the Solomon
Australia?
Island Stonehenge, or not
Sure.
Stonehenge. He did the you know what I'm talking about, the
That
faces.
you're talking Rapa Nui, Easter Island with the giant
Is it Easter Island? Yeah, Easter Island.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry.
And they've
Yep,
pushed
yep.
those guys down into the ground as well. Is this the tohuna that have this levitation ability to push them down into the ground? Anyway, that's gone way off topic, but that was kind of where I was going with it, just going far out. I was learning about the fact that we knew logos and all these things, and we're far more relative to our brains than what are these ancient topics? What are these, medicinal roots and plants used for, and then who was using them? And it was the tohuna, who basically in New Zealand got legislated to not be able to talk about anymore. So for a long time, nobody was allowed to talk about who they were, what they did, anything like that, and it was kept very quiet. So
it makes me wonder, because I think when I'm looking at that story with Moses, when he goes before the Pharaoh and he throws down the staff and it becomes a snake staff, and then the magicians immediately were able to do that as well. And then I've kind of had a hypothesis, well, okay, they know Hermes, which is equivalent to Nimrod's son Tammuz, Caduceus staff, snake staff, maybe there's and then we start seeing something with St. Patrick eventually. He drives the snakes out of Ireland. I was inferring to the Druids. I just recently was reading another book on the origins of Christmas, and what did they used to call their Christmas trees that they brought inside? Pyramids.
Oh, yeah, they did.
And I was like, driving snakes out of Ireland. Man. But then you look at Hollywood, and you have the sigil of Astaroth stars for all the Hollywood stars, right? Stars were affiliated with angels and ascension, divine kings, if you will. And I was going, I kind of wonder if that's kind of what we're watching when we're watching like Doctor Strange or something like that. Not that I'm endorsing that by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think that these people do have some schools where people are doing this kind of thing, manipulating alternate realities and realms and stuff like that. Personally, on a biblical perspective, I don't think we're supposed to be tapping into that, because I think there's a jurisdiction as man, we're supposed to do this. But why do they not want you to talk about it? It's like, can I at least speculate? No. Well, I just kind of want to have an answer, because I kind of want to know, like you said, how did this get built? Why did they think this was important? Even if I don't agree with it, why did they build it? It's not important. Just appreciate that it's there. Okay, well, that's kind of stupid. Like,
yeah. And that was like mind blowing to me. So my whole weekend has just been like, what? Like literally just learning these things. Just going far out, man. This is absolutely wild. And the stuff that we talked about was things that I have never heard. And you got to understand, right? So in New Zealand, when we grow up through school, so you met my little boy just before, he's 5.5. He's been at school for 3 months, loving it. And at the top of his reading class. So I'll make sure that he starts reading the books that you've mentioned today, just to get him going.
Higher grade.
Maybe my mummy might have to help. But when you start at school through New Zealand, you learn all about taniwha, which are, a sea monster, a guardian, a spirit. You learn about the other cryptids that are in New Zealand. You learn about the Māori Indigenous culture and the lore. And so this weekend is Matariki. In fact, tomorrow for us is Matariki, where we celebrate the Seven Sisters, aka Pleiades constellation, right? and that comes out in New Zealand. You can see that, and then it's time to harvest and have a big festival and this sort of stuff. This year we're celebrating 2 stars, which gives us food from the ground and celestial light from above, if you will, star people and people and power. And just like from our perspective, I'm like, does anyone else kind of get this right now? Like, come on, team. And so
Well,
yeah,
no,
we grow
'cause
up with this stuff.
well, you just say we come with the Bible background, but we never talk about Enoch. The minute you mention, is like, well, that's not a real book. But it's like, but there's like a festival thing still going on today that
Sure.
like
Yeah.
sounds kind of similar. Like this might give it some vindication that there's a real thing going on. And yeah, yeah, for
I
me,
find it
go ahead, go ahead.
fascinating, you know. I find it fascinating because we have that all the way around the world, right? And the same with, like, you know, Aboriginal culture. We've got these amazing pieces of rock art that have spanned thousands of years, and yet are showing what could be star people or their connection to the constellations, connection to you know, ETs, other civilizations, that sort of stuff. And number one, they just get thrown away, or they get classified as they must be star people and the indigenous people just didn't know who they were. Or they get thrown away as, oh, it's just embellishment, or it's just, you know, part of the creation story, which didn't come from anywhere. It just does my head in. I'm like, come on, teams. Like, it's around the world. It's a global phenomenon. Can we not see it as how it is?
It's like the flood. There's that thing. It's like,
Sure.
this sure sounds like the Anunnaki. This sure sounds like what we're getting with the Watchers. Are you sure this isn't? Now you're just making up. It's fanfic.
Yeah.
What is it?
Connections. There's connections. And you don't have to be like full on into conspiracy or full on into this to see those connections and be able to have some pretty strong rope threads between them, if you will, the FBI red board threads.
If you dig into several areas, eventually you will find how that cord intertwines. For some of us, I think we've kind of gotten such a grip on it that it's like it comes secondhand. It's just like we're so used to using this thing. It's like, what was those things back in the 90s? Where you used to make those like gimp string bracelets, and
Oh,
I'm not sure if you had that in New Zealand. Yeah,
yeah, and you used to make friendship bracelets.
that's my sisters were all big into that. That's why I know what it is. I had like 6 sisters, so you know. But it's kind of like that for us, and then for us, it's like a mosaic. Like, wow, this gives me a totally new understanding about our world. And other people are like, how did you dare use that color? Huh? Oh, you don't want to talk about this? Like, take it out. It looks awful. It's like, well, this is something that actually makes these other things make sense to me. It's like, well, it doesn't make sense to me because it's not part of the official narrative. And so, again, like a lot of ancient cultures, let's just destroy it as opposed to let's try to see what's there to understand about it. It doesn't mean that, and that's for me with anthropology. I want to understand why they did and what they believed back in the day, so I can understand better why I believe what I believe and why I understand what I understand today, right? Understanding the past helps me better solidify the present with what exactly my purpose is and what exactly I am supposed to be doing. Because if like an agnostic, if I say I come from nothing and I'm going back to nothing, are you telling my whole existence is nothing? That's just sad. It's like, I'd like to at least have an idea of like, you know what? I could be 100% wrong, but this one makes sense, and I would like to live like this and be a good person. You know, right?
Yeah.
You would think that would be the basic set for most people, but what you just described, I think it was Heidi Love that was telling me. Shout out to Heidi. That a good portion of people they got no imagination whatsoever. Like, you tell them envision an apple in your mind, and they're like, can't do it. What? Like, that was part of my problem. I had extreme ADHD, for crying out loud. I could barely focus in a classroom, whether as an adolescent or an adult. What are you talking about?
Apple? Goldfish?
Apple. I don't know if you're thinking apples to apples, apple sauce, apple pie, apple. Right? My brain's already gone down the rails. Everybody else, it's like, gang, you know what? I would hate to play Pictionary with you because you're probably dumb as hell.
No way.
Sorry.
You've got an amazing, like, ridiculous brain. My brother's ADHD and Asperger's and all of the above, and he hacked into a bank when he was 10 years old because everyone needed more money. So he was going to give it to everyone.
Well, hold on about this. Let's put a pin on this. Well, what are you talking about? You hacked into a bank at 10?
Yeah, we don't really talk about it, but I just kind of mention it sometimes because I don't want to get in too much trouble. And my mum had to go down to the bank and just be like, I'm really sorry, my son's autistic and very, very smart. And he thought everyone needed some more money, so he would just give it to them.
An autistic Robin Hood. I love it.
Yeah, he's a very social justice minded.
You mean all the money's in there? Yeah. Well, why don't we distribute it?
Everyone needs money. My mum needs more money, so I'll just get her some. Yeah, he's phenomenal dude. Yeah, real cool dude.
Man, I want him for my next prison break.
Shout out. So it's so funny because I tried to get him into the alien disclosure thing with me, right? And I'm really looking forward to kind of going into this and talking a little bit more because, like I said, we don't get much down here. We have a bucket load of sightings. Oh my God, documented cases? Absolutely. I have sightings in the sky all the time. I live right next to a massive mountain range and we get rainbow lights up there and all sorts of stuff going on. We don't have an air force in New Zealand though, so yeah, keep that in mind.
But you are part of the alliance between Five Eyes. If somebody wants to pick up that book, originally when I saw it, it was like $13. Now it's up to like 28, at least stateside. I was like, "What the hell?" It's only like 200 something pages. Like, kind of an extreme upgrade. Why? Because I don't want that getting out as much. So
sure, yeah, we are part of Five Eyes, absolutely, and China has just started doing live missile testing in the South Pacific, and I think they may try and test something else as far as like the velocity of their bombs go, and New Zealand is very upset.
Yeah, obviously.
What are we gonna do? Okay.
I like watching that stuff. Not that I'm in pro-war, but I like watching all the geopolitics of it. At least the strategies. What would this do? What would they do? Then Australia and you guys, I hate to say it, you guys are kind of cooked because the thing was it like 2030 something when they're finally going to get a fleet of subs over in Australia. I was like, a lot of these technologies I'm seeing are all going to hit the fan by 28, 29. You guys are like 3 years behind by the time you get a sub.
Yeah, and I'm in New Zealand. I'm not even in Australia. Okay, these are different countries.
I know, but your cousin, you're right nearby, but it's for me, it's like, damn, that's just. I mean, they would honestly probably want to use New Zealand as a beachhead for an Australian invasion if that ever went down.
But look, we have some nice helicopters. Back off. I think
the Lord of the Rings land. Come on.
The only thing saving us right now is a really scary haka. Right? Have you ever seen a haka being done by the Maori people?
Oh, yes. I've seen those chants when they're protesting. Yeah.
Very scary, right?
Yeah.
Come over here and we'll haka you. Like we're gonna and hit you with our clubs, and we still have machetes, which is safety first. Yeah.
Gotta love the old way. Well, I've been telling that to people. I think that's another thing. It's just like with money. The modern killing mechanisms, bombs, bullets, guns, like you're putting a distance between what you're doing. Like I know everybody, like my buddy would always tease me and be like, "Oh, I'll just do the Indiana Jones thing. Try to do that with your sword." And I'm like, but that's not what I'm arguing here. It's the nuances. Like I put practice in defense. I know how to block. I know how to I'm holding a corner. I don't care if you give me an umbrella or a stick. I can now hold better now that I have training with katana. I took some lessons.
Good,
I said, but with your gun, yes, well, it can't solve the problem. Not going to dispute that. Yeah. It's the aspect of when you're taking a life, are you putting into mindset, like, this is like my last resort. I did not want to go to this point. I think that's kind of another element that's kind of dehumanized us. Whereas, you're using clubs still, you're using, it's like, you know what? I respect that.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. So quick story. Okay, so when we went to Samoa, my husband's Samoan, so we went over there to see his family and do all that sort of stuff. And I was like, dude, we've got to bring home some of these weapons, right? And we to call them wall art, but essentially they're giant axe club things with spiky things on them and whatnot. And I don't know if you've ever seen, there was a movie that The Rock was in where I can't remember what the movie was, but he came back to Samoa. No, like a real movie, like
live action.
Movie. I can't remember what it was, but he came back to Samoa and they chased him over there and he went to his family's house. He was like, "Mom, where are the guns?" And she was like, "I got rid of them, but here's the old ones." And so they pick up all these Samoan weapons, right? These giant clubs and stuff. And so coming back through customs in New Zealand, and I've got 3 of these because I'm like, fuck yeah, they're so cool. And I'm like, and I'm a martial artist, and I'm like, I'm going to play with these. This is going to be heaps of fun. Anyway, so we've like wrapped them all up and we're coming through customs and I'm standing next to my husband and the guy at customs is like, "Oh, and so what are these?" And I'm like, "Giant weapons." And my partner's like, "Wall hangings." And I was like, "Oh yeah, wall hangings, sure." Giant weapons. And so he was like, "Oh, okay then, blah blah blah." And so we got on through and I was like, "Yes, I've got these."
They let you take it?
Yeah, we brought them on through. They're wall hangings. Anyway, giant weapons.
Can I hang you on the wall? You get out of the line. What?
So, like if anyone ever tried to invade New Zealand, at least we've got, a shit ton of like crazy spiky wooden clubs to save ourselves because we don't have submarines yet.
Which again, that goes into what you would call jungle warfare. But I mean, good grief, it worked in Vietnam. If you know how to work a system and dig a tunnel, I mean, you could. There's a guy I was following in Hawaii. He makes like these paddles that are handheld, and then like there's this arch, but on the end of all the arch is a whole bunch of shark teeth.
Yeah,
and I was like,
similar.
oh. Yeah, it's a similar thing, just a little bit of migrational thing. But I was like, get one of those with my battle axe. That would be absolutely phenomenal.
And the wood over there is very, very strong wood. They make houses out of it. They make, boats and that sort of stuff out of it. And it doesn't break, man. Like, imagine ripping skin with that. Oh. Okay, anyway.
We're sounding a little violent, but it's true, though, for me. If you're going to defend yourself, it's like, listen, I really like my weapon, and I really get to enjoy the chance when I get to use it.
And you never do until that one moment. But we're not going to talk about those moments, Brandon, because we'll get kicked off YouTube, okay? We have been a few times. So stop it.
I believe in peace.
We are pacifists until we're forced out of it.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with things. It's like, you know what? No need for it. But if you come to my door,
yeah, you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
I might send I was going to say, I might send you one over, but I don't think it's going to make it there. That's okay.
I probably would. It just would probably be a little bit expensive due to the weight of the wood. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, maybe you just need to come to New Zealand or come and meet me in Samoa. We'll go have a holiday in Samoa and we'll fill your bag full of stuff that you can get stopped at customs with.
It's like, what's this? It's wall hanging.
Wall hanging.
Yeah. It's gonna go on my wall. It's like, oh, you're on a list. Figured.
You're on the list already, Brandon. Let's be honest. You know it.
I'm pretty sure I am. I'm getting Facebook notifications like, you posted this photo, but we can't show you what that photo was. But it's very violent. And I'm like, well, how am I able to contest this if I don't even know what the photo was?
Yeah, you're definitely on the list. And you're definitely on the list after this one is. I'm so sorry.
I don't even care anymore at this point. Yeah. I'm just kind of numb to it. It's like, I've been expecting you. You're late. You're like 4 years late. I thought I was a threat way back then. Like,
No, man, I think you're awesome. I love the fact that you are just so honest. And we were talking about that in pre-show, and when you speak the truth, you don't make friends, and it's a hard road to run, and people like to keep their head in the sand and hope things will just disappear. And I kind of feel like the alien disclosure thing, this ET disclosure thing, which has been running for a long time now, right? Like the whole, US Congress opening up and bits and pieces, and it's been talked about for so long. What are your thoughts on the validity of this disclosure situation? Because I know that Dr. Stephen Greer has just come out and released like a kind of a threat, a promise, if you don't release now, then we will sort of situation. Do you think it's a valid situation, or do you think are we just being played?
I think for a good chunk of it is being played, or at least it's being hashed out. So I'm thinking they're going to do their Project Bluebeam thing.
Thank you.
But alien, a lion to you. Satan disguises himself as a lion. But Aline, Alien, like a lien on a house. Now, as I've been saying before, whatever happened during the C-19 era of 2020, allegedly there were snake eggs in every one of the special things that they put inside of people.
Oh.
Allegedly, they're now saying they're a different species as classified by Congress. I'm like, a different species? Wait, what?
Wait, are we saying alien DNA was in the...
But yeah, I truly think there was, because allegedly as well, there was a little bit of meteorite in every one of those. Now, like I said before, angels, stars, star walkers, the occult believes in an ascension to Hermetic Kabbalah tree of life. At the top, it's known as Corona.
Okay.
And to ascend, angels were affiliated with crowns and stars. Divine king, a divine ruler. When you see the 666, when they're doing that, demonstrational purposes for those who get freaked out. But again, that's 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, 6 protons. Man ascending to become their own gods. Man merging with machine.
Yeah.
I truly think, like I said before, with the concept of salt water, sea, the ocean, that the Nephilim are wanting to come back, but they need bodies. So in a little bit, people are now offered themselves as a sense of surrogate vessels. This is a hypothesis. It's not proven. Sure. But remember, this is a conspiracy show. That they offer themselves up to, in a sense, to be vessels, because Elon Musk said with AI, we are summoning the demon. AI will provide universal income for all. AI. Mono eye means money, or one eye. In American money, there's an all-seeing eye on the dollar bill. They call you pupils in school. So is it a thing where they're saying, listen, you won't be able to buy or sell unless you have our money, currency, right? This is how the beast of land, I would say government, and currency, all the terminology that comes with that, right? Head above water, drowning in debt, you name it. Banks of a river, banks of an ocean, banks of a lake. Banks. So is it possible that they want to take possession of the majority of the human population? And what was Christ constantly doing? Casting demons out of human possession. Now AI has already been getting caught calling human beings slaves. Now, if you're going by Stitchin's works, he said that in ancient cultures there was a slave population based off of some alien race. Now, allegedly, again, that's his hypothesis. And I'm like, I don't think you're too far off, because 5G, 6G, what if reality, they say by, I think it was a sciencetech.com or wherever it was, they said they want to use human beings as antennas by 2030.
Sure.
So, right? So what if the Nephilim, they're going to be using human beings as a proxy? And alien disclosure, a lien on a house, what did Christ say? Your body is a temple of the Lord. Know ye not that you are... Right? You were bought with a price. Greater is he that is within you than he that is of the world. But if you're already an empty, vacant vessel, aka you don't have imagination, not able to think, not able to process anything, you're open for infiltration. Yeah. And you will accept this new age. Oh, look, it's aliens. And they're going to say, we sent you Buddha, we sent you Muhammad, we sent you Christ. And you guys goofed it all up. But this is how you ascend to find your inner self. Right? I could totally see that going down. I mean, photography, it means drawing with light. Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. Illuminati means light. Right. Blue beam. I know it sounds like you're really grasping at straws. There's nothing there, but I'm like, why are they telling us that now? Oh yeah, aliens are totally real.
Yeah.
Why? Why have you been censoring it for like 60, 70 something years? How come you can't tell the population? Because you're instilling that fear that when it happens, everybody's going to get all caught up in an Independence Day mentality, right?
Yeah.
But isn't that funny? In every single one of these movies where an alien race invades, all of humanity suddenly comes together to fight the foreign invader. And so now you do a complete 180 on that, saying, "Oh, they're actually our saviors to mankind. We've been having it wrong with our movies, but still, all of humanity can come together because they'll help us connect that missing dot." Right? That I potentially see as where they're going with all of this. It's just my theory, but based off of what they were showing, I think alien invasion in Google Images years ahead, I believe it was in 28 or 29.
Google showed alien invasion?
It feels like alien invasion. I think 2029 was Apophis, which is supposed to be happening on April 13th, Friday the 13th in April. And then they were showing Terminator. That's just when we're supposed to finish up with our Golden Dome stateside. In the Terminator movie, Judgment Day, it was in 2029 when that happened.
Holy shit.
And they're showing it in the years ahead. Like, this is what I'm like, okay, that's Revelation 13:15, where it says the statues are given the ability to speak and they force everybody. I'm like, AI takes over?
Oh my god, could it be that soon though? But maybe
I don't
with
know,
the
but here's the
progression.
thing. You're just talking about all this star stuff. Astaroth in the Bible, a red star, that's basically a sigil of Astaroth, connects to Semiramis in the Bible. Both Ishtar, Easter, and April Fool's Day is on the same day in 2029. April Fool's, equivalent of a fool, is Osiris on the tarot cards, and Osiris is an equivalent of Nimrod. So both the Queen of the Heavens and Nimrod are going to be landing on the same exact day in 2029.
It's gonna happen.
I'm just saying! Do you know how weird that is when you get somebody like Alice Bailey who's saying their Antichrist figure will show up in 2025, and then you have another thing I saw, the last or final 7 years from 25 to 2032, and I'm like, 2029, that would be exactly like almost like 3.5 years roughly.
Halfway.
When the inauguration happened, where Trump said the phrase that was in the Bible, the peace and when they say peace and safety, sudden travail fall upon him as a woman in labor. He said that. You can look it up, whitehouse.gov. I was like, he's got name etymology to Tammuz. But here's the biggest thing. Baron Trump, the guy that looks really tall, could possibly be a Nephilim. Baron is the voodoo god of the dead. Internet, place for 2 more corpse. Right?
What? No! I have no idea what you're talking about. No, take me back to... Okay, Baron. I know who Baron is, the giant Nephilim child of Donald Trump. Allegedly.
But when you compare like a paintings of Lucifer back in the day, and you compare it alongside Baron, it looks exactly the same. That looks like the Lucifer painting. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, again, the world we're living in, what was it? After 9/11, the World Trade Centers fell. Hermes was allegedly supposed to be the god of trade. It says in Revelation 18:23 that the nations were deceived by the great men of the earth, the merchants, and by their pharmakia were the nations deceived. Big Pharma? Merchants means myrrh, means water. Chants means songs. Water songs. What did I say before about the Nephilim being in the water? Commercials, commerce. Every time a commercial pops on, you're listening to Spotify. Oh, great, gotta listen to 5 commercials in a while. Propaganda constantly hitting you because it's what the merchant class wants you to do, buy and consume, which is exactly what the Archons were doing to distract mankind from focusing on reality.
Dum, 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 dum. If I could do that with my eyebrow right now, I would. Oh my god.
Hey, I know it sounds crazy. At this point, I'm hoping something happens. So it's like, I wasn't crazy. I know. But those coincidences.
That's the problem, right? It's the coincidences. We don't believe in coincidences because that is not... You can't have 8 coincidences in one row and be like, they're all coincidences. There's connection. There's reason.
Again, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm aligning reason with what are the odds. That's kind of weird. What are your thoughts? And most people are like, oh, no, I want more time. Oh, no, we got another like 50, 20 years. I'm like, the River Euphrates is getting really low, and they're hearing creepy things from caves in there.
Yep.
And all the data centers, they're allegedly giving us famines in the near future. that they're building here. The flock cameras separate the sheep from the goats, aka Baphomet. Dumazid was a Sumerian goat shepherd god.
Oh my God. Okay, just hold on for 2 seconds. We're going to come back to data centers. You just stop your ADHD.
I'm like a balloon. I'm just spinning all around the room at this point.
Fluid air. Our last conversation, Brandon, I was like, this is the best conversation I've ever had. And we went all over the show, man. It was so good. Okay, so I agree with you on the Project Bluebeam. I 100% think they're gonna push that through. Holograms, all of the above, plus whatever technology that they've got to show that there's some sort of alien invasion. Okay, so I have a question for you though. There is a theory going around, very, very well-known theory, that aliens are in fact not interdimensional or interstellar. They are future humans that come from the center of the earth, or whatever, have been back here because we screwed it all up, or whatever. What are your thoughts on what aliens are? And you can 100% go biblical on this, because my dad is very much in that space as well, and I was kind of had those conversations with him as well. What are these, if they are anything?
I do lean in that they are fallen angels, and even when you're building off of that concept, that could explain the second incursion, because I was like, oh, God flooded the whole earth, but how did they manage to create the Nephilim tribes that they were wiping out in Canaan?
Sure.
What did you just describe? Well, again, from this perspective, this is what they're saying, is they came from, maybe they built a vault in the earth. I mean, we hear about, again, I was listening to one particular cryptid show, and they were talking about in the Solomon Islands, there's like a whole cave system underneath where these big giant guys are running around. And I'm like, sure. Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's something there. But then you look into something with Norse mythology, and it says that the ice giants want to seek revenge on what mankind did to them. We now have a thing in America called ice agents. And if you're going off biblical cosmology, which is the snow globe effect, there's no Antarctica, it would just be a wall all the way around. Whether somebody wants to believe that or not, it's entirely open to interpretation. But ice wall, we're called to be the salt of the earth, not the ice. Melt the ice. As Christians, I'm just saying, maybe there's something there. Salt water, salt the earth. Truth.
Back to salt.
I'm just saying.
Our theory was that whales were jizzing in the ocean too many times. Okay, and that's why it's salty.
Excellent protein. Okay, that's just messed up.
That's messed up. I'm so sorry to bring that back.
A whale a blowjob.
It's important. It's important. Yeah, I agree with the giants. 100% cave systems all over, especially down from here.
Well, again, and in a sense, not necessarily evolved man, but it's like that's again, the angels, when they came down, they would have to take the form of mankind. But here's the thing, they can't go back into heaven. Allegedly. I'm not sure how the whole thing with Job, if that's a metaphor story or whatever, or if there is like your spirit can transcend, but your physical body that you transcended down to, maybe it can't. I'm not sure how that all works. Not really interested. Maybe that's where the astral projection thing comes from, right? Star travel. Whee! And again, the angels are trying to teach us how to do that with technology. Again, did I ever tell you the etymology for technology?
No.
T-E-C-H-E means snake. Technology is technically, pun intended, snakeology. Like the serpent in the Garden of Eden.
Wow. Didn't know that.
Again, somebody's going to say, that's pseudo-etymology, you're making it up. But I'm just saying, it's like, that's the surge going on right now, right? Everybody's so consumed with their technological devices, their cell phones, prison phones, iPhone, again, money, one eye.
Data centers.
Ooh. Right. But man is looking into mirrors as opposed to looking at the signs and wonders. What's going on around in this world? And the ones of us that do, we're an enemy to the state. We're a problem. We're a conspiracy theorist. Don't listen to them. They're crazy.
Yeah.
Why am I crazy for speculating? I'm not saying I have the answers. I'm just saying this doesn't seem right. And it's not. Coming from my background, is like I don't really trust my adoptive parents after hearing all the years that were censored from me, as it were. I'm living under the roof, but it's like you've been lying, and now I'm seeing that pattern, an international scale, of authority figures lying to the ones under them. I don't like that. Let's get some transparency here. Santa Claus isn't real? Tell me. I'm a big boy. I can take it. If Bigfoot is real, then by gosh, I want to make sure I'm bringing some protection out there next time I go into the wilderness.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a problem, but they're villainizing people who actually think and speculate, right? Because if you're willing to do that, that means we can't control you with fear.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because you're already processing how you can come up with your own solution without the necessity of the state saving your bacon and or helping unite society.
And so then the alien situation, we have Project Bluebeam happening and the alien invasion. Are we meant to be afraid of these things that are going to happen? Because like we talked about Independence Day and then everyone was just chaotic and fearful because we're all going to die. But I feel like the way that they're presenting everything is let's normalize it. It'll be fine. Here we go. Drip feed you information. Don't be afraid.
Well, like I said, I think at first it's going to be like a fear thing. So it'll be like, lockdowns, martial law, stay in your homes. We don't really know what we're doing, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to do it, except for I think some of the Christians and conspiracy theorists are going to be out there. Yeah, it's like, you know what? It's like sitting there, launching fireworks at the damn thing. I don't know, try to get a glitch going on. But as well, this is why, if I go on a side tangent, why would Trump not want to regulate AI?
What do you mean by that?
He doesn't want to regulate AI. He doesn't want. So basically, like, I want to post a exotic photo of the president in his birthday suit. Put it very, very cleanly. And let's say I wanted to use artificial intelligence in order to get this thing published or put out there. He doesn't want to regulate that.
Like, I just described something we can allow this to happen.
He would allow it to happen because it's not going to be regulated as to what you can and cannot do. Or what something like Grok is being accused of. You're allowing me to look up little girls that are in, scantily clad or not wearing anything. Oh. You can put that in as a prompt, which, again, if you manipulate it enough. And I'm like,
yeah,
right. So why would you not want to regulate it? That sounds like really creepy stuff. I'm not for it. Are you like, why would you? Yeah, I'm totally on board as a parent and non-parent. Let's regulate that. No.
Yeah.
Why would you not want to do that? Unless, biblically speaking, the two witnesses, which might be Christians, I would highly suspect, maybe two people, like it says in like the two witnesses in Revelation is actually literally two people, or it's the two witnesses of the Testament, and that being the ecclesia. Because as the Antichrist goes to war against the saints, against the saints. Saints are people who are set apart. I don't believe in your system. I don't believe in your authority. I don't believe, right? War means confusion. One side knows, again, both sides of the spectrum. I know the truth. You know the truth. These people are stupid. I know they're stupid. But so one side's going to start performing miracles, and they're going to need propaganda for that. That's AI. So that guy didn't do what like Moses did. He threw down his staff and it turned into a snake. No, that's AI. That's why you wouldn't want to regulate it. And so now you're getting this thing with a whole alien invasion going on, and people are starting to muck up the illusion. I don't know, but I think that's going to be a thing. And at first they want it to be fear, like they did with 2020. They want it to be a fear programming, but then they're going to gradually ease us into it. Like, oh, they're here to save us. And on top of that, those who aren't complying with what they're saying, we should hand them over to them because they don't want to evolve. They don't want to change. They are bad for society. We need to hand them over to them. Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds good. That person's been an a-hole to me for his conspiracy stuff for the last 7 years. Take him away. Take him away. That is personally
what your conspiracies are real now, Brandon.
Yeah. Again, like I said before, wouldn't it be kind of creepy? Like, again, why would... I highly suspect that Theodore Roosevelt set aside all the national parks here in the U.S. because he knew about the cryptids, and so it was a semi-reservation-like treaty. Now Trump is starting to take away those regulations, for the national parks, and he's starting to open it up for loggers and whatnot. So if you don't need the national parks anymore, why is that? Because I think that those little guys are going to be starting coming to the cities and whatnot. Yeah. And when the parents return, aka Project Bluebeam, and they start normalizing it, bringing it to society, you'll see your wolfmen walking down the street. You'll see Bigfoot finally in real life. Whether, again, varying on whatever cryptids are real, not real, and whatnot. I truly think that they're going to gradually induce it where it's like, oh crap, what did I just sign myself into? This is like all the worst horror movies culminating at once in sci-fi.
Well, you see a bucket load of new sightings and encounters, and really scary encounters, especially of dogman and that sort of stuff, very, very close to cities and towns now, right? And that was one of the conversations we were having a while ago when we kind of delved into an Australian dogman encounter. And it was only about probably 10 minutes up a river from a big township in Sydney. And there was residential houses either side, and he was kayaking up a river, and then had this massive encounter like that, lasted for a long time, with this dogman creature that scared the living shit out of him. 10 foot tall. He went back with his mates and actually kind of scaled it, and was just like, holy crap, this thing was standing in a hole in a ditch, like, and it was already that tall. So it was mental, but it just shows you that those cryptids, I totally agree with you, they're coming closer into the cities. And at some point, you're going to start seeing them more, which is maybe now, because there's so many encounters of, dogmen, Bigfoot coming, way closer to people's houses, that sort of stuff. I don't know. It's pretty wild.
Well, again, they're giving us things called libertas cities, freedom cities. That's what they're pitching as a solution.
What's that, 15-minute city?
That's what they're starting to create it, so that the suburbs become like obsolete, and again, all their wildfires and whatnot. So you gravitate towards the city. It's like, you want to go outside. Well, you know what? They need lunch too. Like, what was it in the Deadpool movie where they had that big smoke cloud guy coming around from the Loki thing? It's like, you want to go outside? It's his time to eat. Go ahead.
Yeah, bring them inside. It's cold.
Yeah.
They get cold
pretty much, and I think that's it'll be a perfect security system, because you got so many of those freaking things that, again, they want revenge, and they're pretty hungry. I mean,
again, like, there's so many connections, though. There's so many connections into it, because then you have data centers and Palantir and all of that sort of stuff going on, and
Nephilim dwelling robots.
Sure. Yes.
And they actually again, if you have the technology, you can inseminate again with these creepy things. Christ said himself, if the end was not cut short, no human flesh on the earth would survive. I'm just saying, like the days of Noah, G6, Genesis 6 is when it all happened. G6 towers. Yeah, they were manipulating with the DNA.
Yeah.
With everything. And they're Japan right now, again, whether it's AI or not, I'm hearing they're making some creepy Carlies come to life. It's like, why would you want to give that thing life? It looks scary as hell.
Yeah, and that's robotic, but we're also opening, portals left, right, and center. Thank you, CERN, and everyone else that's pissing around with Ouija boards. Like, at least with Ouija boards, you're bringing in one type of entity. CERN, they're just friggin' opening portals and going, oh yeah, by the way, we've opened a few and we've crashed a few universes. But
universes, or even they're who's to say that, like, CERN isn't opening up all the vaults that happened pre-flood?
Sure. Yeah.
Right, with modern technology, I could definitely see that, and the only way it's able to do it is if you are practicing the Babylonian magic crap. And what was that other program? It's not CERN, but it's like the other one where the dimension thing. I can't remember what it's called. But some whistleblower guy was coming up, and he's like, yeah, the CIA has this technology to basically realm drop, which, again, base of the earth, Sheol, that's completely unexplored. We have no idea what is under our earth. They tell us it's a molten crescent lava thing, and it's like, no.
Yeah, how do we know this?
Yeah, it's. I think there's some things down there that is lurking around. For me, one of the scariest ones that I heard for a cryptid was the glitter men. Have you ever heard of those?
Yes. Yeah.
For me, I heard one. It was a girl. She said she was growing up in the 70s, and she ran across this thing that looked like the Predator. It was in the woods. She was like 6 to 8 years old, and she's like, "Dad, blah blah blah. I saw this, blah blah blah." And they're all like, "Okay, you're just walking in the woods. You're being silly, whatever." I said a couple years later, the Terminator movie came out, and Dad was watching it on VHS at home, and she comes around, the Predator movie, and she goes, "That's it." He's like, "What?" That's the thing that I saw about 4 or 5 years ago. That's the thing that I saw when it was glittering and it came. I could see it for a second, then it cloaked itself. It's like, that's ridiculous. This is Hollywood. He's like, "No, that's what I saw, Dad. That's the glitter guy." And I'm like, okay, that's just, again, predictive programming, letting us, like, how how does a little girl see that? And then you're just like, no, that's nothing. And then she remembers her dad watching it. It's like, I don't. Yes, you could say maybe you're having one of those moments where it's deja vu. You're thinking of something that didn't really happen. It's like that little boomerang memory. It's pseudo. You're just making it up, darling.
Sure.
But then there's other times where you're like, then these other people are seeing it, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's crazy, guys. I think there's something out there.
Yeah, the Glimmerman stuff is like, do you listen to our Monsters Among Us podcast?
I think I've heard the title. I don't think I've listened to it.
Yeah, so it's a very well-known podcast, but it's basically just people ringing their stories in, and then basically just saying, replaying them live on air. And man, the amount of Glimmerman stories that I've listened to over the last couple of years is phenomenal. I've never heard of it before, kind of listening to them. And then I was like, far out. And so I started kind of looking at other podcasts and bits and pieces about it. And there's theories out there that it's military grade technology. Literally, it is soldiers walking around in these cloaking devices, and apparently they have them. And okay, cool, yeah. And then I'm like, but what if it is the predator? What if, and then you hear stories about Bigfoot being able to cloak and look like the Glimmerman and look like that sort of translucent kind of strange entity.
I mean, it would explain why a lot of people can't find him.
Sure.
Or get a photo at times. I'm not.
Yeah.
Again, whether it's the case for all of them or, like I said before, maybe there's a thing where if you aim a camera, because it's technology, it's not going to work on them because they are of some species thing that, it's going to blur it automatically.
I reckon there's something else involved. I don't know if I'm not sure that I'm sold on the Bigfoot is interdimensional or cryptids are interdimensional. I'm not sure how I feel about that quite, but I definitely believe they have some form of telekinesis, telekinetic power that allows them to cloak and allows them to mind speak, because that's something that's really, really common as far as, especially in Australia with Yowies as well, very, very common with this mind speak sort of thing. And the same with Dogman over there, but Dogman's not an Indigenous, Dogman isn't in Indigenous stories. There's no Aboriginal stories about dog-like creatures or kind of werewolves or anything like that. Hey?
I've never heard anything with the Dogmen with doing telekinesis. They sound like a little bit more feral of the cryptid variety.
Yeah, I've heard that a few times in Australia, but I do wonder if it was maybe it was the Yowies versus the Dogman, and they were simply there to gatekeep, or they were there as their lackey or their sidekick or whatever. I'm not sure, but I find that really fascinating because I'm like, well, if there's a biological connection to humans with the Bigfoot entities, which it seems like there is some form of kind of genetic connection there. There's some form of a wild hairy man, or they're a hominid back in the good old days or whatever that's kind of lasted. Then that means that humans, as we see today, still have that ability, right? We should still have this telekinesis, telekinetic superpower ability. And we do know that some humans do, right? We see documented cases of people moving things with their mind. Bruce Lee used to be able to light fire with light a piece of paper with on fire with his fingers and that sort of stuff. Have you seen those videos? They're pretty amazing.
No, but that's very interesting. Makes me wonder a little bit more why they offed him.
Oh yeah, it wasn't because he was a great actor. It wasn't because he was a great actor. He had the understanding and the ability to use his ki, or in Chinese, your chi, which comes from your solar plexus. And that is basically, Street Fighter. Oh, use it, throw out a fireball. Yeah, it's real. I've seen it happen in my time through martial arts. I watched this old Chinese guy absolutely pummel my dad right across the lounge with holding this huge Yellow Pages book in front of him so that it didn't break his chest cavity. And this old boy did a 3-inch punch like this and threw him across the lounge. And I was about 10 years old, just standing there going, holy crap. Amazing. Yeah,
Wow.
phenomenal. And so when you kind of like delve into that sort of stuff and you look at like, the Shaolin monks and the pain that they can endure and that sort of stuff and how they can harden and cement their bones. And martial artists, I have a sensei here who's 6 Dan Goju-Ryu, and he's smacking his hands, smacking his feet on this wooden floor, smacking his knees on the wooden floor. The man's in his 60s, but his bone density is just crazy. It's absolutely insane because he's so hardened to it. So is that not part of the superpowers that humans have? We read it in the Vedic manuscripts. We read it in ancient, texts and things like that. Have we just forgotten that stuff?
Forgotten or intentionally like vaulted away for only a selective group, because I think there the that Stan Lee series where he was going around the world trying to find extraordinary individuals that are very similar to like comic book characters, and they had that one guy with like he had an 18-wheeler run over him. There was another guy that was able to climb a wall like a freaking monkey. I'm just saying, I do think that yes and no, because I don't want to say that like I'm endorsing like a new age, what do you call it, Church of Scientology thinking. Like, I just watched the Phenomenon with what's his face the other day.
What's his?
He's from Greece, guy from Greece, aka also the Quentin Tarantino movie, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
John Travolta.
Yeah, the dude with the face.
That's gonna kill me. I used to be so good at that, like instantaneously. But again, that sense, literally sixth sense, of having that ability, I think yes, and partially, I think they have reduced the ability for a lot of people to tap into that, and so now they make it like sensational fanfic. But I do think that certain cults, like the schools of secret knowledge and stuff like that, yes, they do know how to do that. And they're reducing a lot of it, and or what they're showing in the movies is kind of giving us a taste of like, if you want to have this again, this is what we can offer you. So when the aliens are making a thing, like right, whereas the other ones are saying, you know what, I'm going to trust the Holy Spirit as opposed to whatever technology. Again, because the Druids or whatever, the magicians in Egypt were able to do the same trick that Moses did. But one held up for the long term. The other one was, that's temporary. That's temporary. That's not long term, what you just did there.
Yeah.
That's my personal take. Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean I'm wrong. But I think there are certain realms where we're not supposed to tap into that. And especially to the extent where if the angels came down and they were teaching mankind all the, hermetical texts and stuff like that, or the Enochian magic, and they wrote it on the 2 twin towers, aka the Emerald tablets. They wrote it all on that. That was Bad Enoch that wrote that all down. So if Bad Enoch was writing that down, and Enoch was writing another thing, like, no, I went to the spiritual realm, and I went to like. I think it's kind of giving us a playbook here. Is like you could follow this guy, or you could follow this one.
Which
right? Yeah, right. You get to choose. You do get to choose, but. I think that's the beauty of trying to understand Christ, because then you're over here like, okay, so if I die and I fade away, I'm going to still have the potential to be brought back because your word is what brings things back to life. You're the thing that brought things into creation. Those guys wouldn't even have a shot, right? Like, what would Christ say? Gain the whole world, lose your own soul. Yeah. So it's like, you could try it, but as we see with all these secret societies, they end up killing a lot of people that join the group. So what's the point of joining a group that's going to potentially sacrifice me to the volcano god because I didn't have sex last week? I don't know,
Damn it! Knew there was something that was
32.
meant to be done last week.
I wanted to go to 33 on my birthday. Well, tough luck.
Sorry, you're part of the 27 club.
That's exactly what I was hinting. I love it. We're matching here. We're matching. Sorry. I love it.
Sorry, missed out on that appointment in the volcano.
Into the volcano you go. It's sad, but it's like, for me, I look at that and I'm just like, there has got to be something there that compels people to want to go that route and get, like, for instance, that the goo monster that kind of looks like the Venom creature in the Marvel comics. We see them doing all these weird. It's like, why are you? Are you kind of telling me that you're made it a deal with some entity, because maybe it's not so much cloning as
Mm,
soul transferring
soul
from
transfer.
one vessel to another.
Sure.
That I could potentially see,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely in Hollywood. Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm a big believer in that one. Soul
Oh
transfer,
yeah,
absolutely. Which I know is kind of like a
absolutely.
new kind of fad word and that sort of stuff coming out because I'm seeing it quite kind of all over the show. But I would think a soul transfer is far easier to do than a clone. Like, why wouldn't you just pop you in here?
Well, again, that's the whole premise of like Freaky Friday, or people. Oh, you're me, I'm you. That's kind of again something else they've shown us.
Yeah, yeah,
And again, that does lean into the potential like hermaphrodite mindset.
yeah.
So if you already think you're a fluid gender or mixed or whatever like that, you now have the option to do that with a snap of a finger. If you put your thought and your will to it, you can manifest and do that on your own
Sure.
with the assistance of technology in some cases. But yeah, I think that's another thing, and maybe that's why
Mm,
they're almost normalizing certain groups,
mm,
so that
mm.
people kind of go like, well, okay, so all I have to do is change my adjectives, and I have the potential to whatever to infiltrate me. Hmm.
That's interesting, eh? Oh, so many connections. Brandon, come back down the road with me, probably about 45 minutes ago.
Pop the air balloon.
Come back down, come back down. You talked about data centers really, really quickly, and I wrote it down because I have a
Mm.
question, right? And you, I was going to say, and maybe you can answer this, but you can most definitely answer this. So, my question to my husband last night was actually, we were like, what are the data centers for? What are they? What are they truly holding? What's its purpose? Yeah, sure, I get, you know, kind of they're there to control the water. They're there can da 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 da. All these other things around said data center, right? Yeah, cool. The electricity, and then you're in control of this. They're trying to kill us because of the radiation or whatever else is going on. But I see that as symptoms of said data center, right? If we've got the internet, we've got cloud storage, we've got all this stuff, why do we need these big fat juicy data centers going up fucking everywhere? And in New Zealand, we're talking like $300 billion worth of data centers going into our tiny, whiny little country. What's the purpose? What are they for?
It is an interesting question. I looked into again data centers, so I always try to sometimes do the like backwards etymology first to see if there's anything there. A tad primarily refers, that's data backwards, to a word that means buckthorn or thorny shrub or bramble.
Mm.
Again, then it connects to Egypt. I always find that the interesting part. In the Old Testament, Genesis 50, 10 through 11, the threshing floor of a tad, data, was a specific location where Joseph and his brothers stopped to mourn for 7 days while transporting the body of their father, Jacob, from Egypt to Hebron.
Mm.
If I'm not mistaken, Hebron has something to do with Hermes. And then there's Abel Mizraim, because of the intense weeping and grievous mourning held there by the Egyptians. The Canaanites later renamed the site Abel Mizraim to mean the mourning of the Egyptians. So it symbolizes grief, tribulations, mental trials, and individual experiences must let go of old ideas that no longer are useful. Again, new ideas, a renewing of your mind, a golden age, a new dawn. This is a lot of terminologies that they're already giving us, right? So
Mm.
I would almost suppose it to be, it's like the Belgium that is literally known as the Beast Data Collecting Center, B.E.A.S, so on and so forth. And it's, what do you call it? It is gleaning and harvesting, quite literally. I find it ironic that they use that terminology, harvesting the data to see the things that you love. And then they can either bring you to put you on trial. It was the Mercy Seat that just came out with who's the guy that played Star Lord? Folks, feel free to write that down below to help other people, because you don't want to go Google if you want to write that in the comment sections. Anyways, that actor, he just did a movie called Mercy Seat.
I
And
don't know. Why are you asking me such difficult
I
questions?
wasn't sure if you were into the conspiracy, like, oh yeah, but the premise of the movie was basically AI was holding a man on trial, and it was Chris Pratt. And by the way,
Oh,
Star means one of the equivalents for Moloch, and then Lord, owner, master, Donald. That's an equivalent of Baal. So you're literally saying Moloch Baal when you say the word Star Lord. Side note. Anyways, he was being put on trial by AI. So if AI literally they see everything and they're monitoring everything you do while you are free, then they can kind of bring you on trial because the top of the Israeli Supreme Court happens to be an all-seeing eye. Now they can scrutinize you and say, all right, we've been watching you, and now we actually want to just assess, like, if you want to go this path, or should we put you to death? Wow. So and that's personally what I suspect is going on. So data centers, you could say as well, they could be, who knows what's being built under the data center, just like the ballroom for Trump. Is it a bunker? Is it a prison? I don't know. I don't know, but it's like, how come this was going up so instantaneously? How come it's going up so fast? Why? Because when you flip the switch, you're going to need to round up people real quick. And the best way to understand is like, oh, you two talk to each other. Now we know who's connected, and now we know what you think. Now we know what you believe. So you can start reining in. And then one of these days when they have their Instagram blackout go on, oh, that person just disappeared. I guess I'll go over to the other conspiracy person until that person comes back. 2 months go by, 3 months go by, 5 months, then they forget about you, and then they just deplatform you. You just disappear off the internet.
Because you've actually just disappeared, full stop.
Yeah, they made you disappear, full stop, because you didn't pass the test, and this is part where the Seven Mountains mandates come into play, aka Gentile doublespeak for the Seven Noahide laws, which Trump happens to be the champion of as Israeli national news, November 3rd, 2020. Basically being as though, well, if we're a Christian nation, we're a Christian society, we'll take over the media, the schooling, the politics, fill in the Seven Mountains mandates is what it's called. We just take over all of those at the institutions and we can help culminate a good Christian society.
Yeah.
So like Sharia law, just with Bible and bacon grease. That's essentially what you're telling me. You're going to impose it on anybody, and it's going to be backed up. Again, it's not backed up by Christ. It's backed up by technology, snakeology. And Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. It sounds like a great thing. I have nothing to hide. I am a good person.
Holy shit.
Right? So instead of you actually going on here trying to find information, they're actually inverting that mirror and looking at you. What can we get from you? They are, so yes, technically gleaning data from you.
That is my one issue with this whole situation. I'm like, we're all being sucked into this whole disclosure aliens, and like we're all sitting here going, well, fuck, we've always known this. We don't give two shits about this. What else is going on? Let's have a wee look at these data centers popping up left, right, and center exponentially all over the world, and all at the same time. And like, what's the purpose? And yeah, sure, Palantir and all of that sort of software where it's facial recognition and all of that. But I was like, what is the big purpose of this? Like, harvesting data, but for what? For what purpose? And it goes further. Yeah, 100%. And it goes further than the social credit score over in China, or whatever else is going on. You have to be a good person to interact in society and stuff. Is this literally what Elon Musk was talking about as far as his one world income and one world
universal income? Yep.
Universal income and all of this sort of stuff? That's literally where we're heading, and everyone's going to be forced into 15-minute cities, and this is it? Holy shit!
It's the final well, again, they're burning up the countrysides. They're forcing people to look to more, as you just said. You can change that mechanism and say, I want to go away from all this. This isn't right. I want to, but they're over here saying, what's your problem? You don't want to be part of society? No, I'm tired of your two-party politics. I'm tired of arguing over stupid stuff that has no relevance with my life. I'm tired of freaking having to work for money and never having time for myself or my family, right? Oh, so you don't want to be a team player. Well, okay, I guess not. Okay, well, you're a nihilist then, right? Because this is what Albert Pike did when he said he predicted the 3 world wars. First, he predicted what happened with World War One. Then he said World War Two. So World War Three, we're going to go first after the nihilists and the atheists. I've been thinking really hard. Why would you want to go after a nihilist? The nihilist could be an anarchist, a libertarian, somebody that's a conspiracy theorist. Why? Because you have doubt. You have doubt with the world that you currently live in. And the atheist, all right, you want to go after them because they don't believe in anything. Right? So I was like,
Wow.
I could be wrong. This is completely hypothesis and conjecture. And again, whenever I share this one, because I don't usually do this on my presentations,
Yeah,
but
no.
this is the kind of stuff that I'm thinking about going, you know what? One of these days, a flick of a switch, and most people, they're not going to piece it together. It's like the other movie, Don't Look Up on Netflix. Like you just said, look at the alien disclosure. Meantime, you got a camera that's coming up behind you, tapping on the shoulder, big brother, like, hey, what's up? Okay.
What are you
You're not even thinking about it because you're so busy looking up that you're not actually focusing. Okay, I just got off the highway. Why is really another camera? I just came out from the store. Another camera?
Yeah.
Peace and safety. I'm willing to sacrifice my natural freedom for a camera to dictate how I live in society because I'm worried about what everybody else is going to think. Everybody else is going to say. I'm worried about the government. I'm worried about the right.
Yeah.
So if you're constantly having to look over your shoulder or anywhere you go with a technological device, and whether you're saying I won't carry it, somebody else is carrying it, you're now living in a state of paranoia. That's no way to live, but that's what they're funneling us all towards.
And you can see that happening, right? Like that's literally happening around us as we speak. Talk about state of paranoia. And we saw that in New Zealand massively with the divide and conquer pharmaceutical situation that happened a few years ago. Literally, you could not go and talk to your neighbor. You could not go and touch somebody that, you know, you like it was so amazing. And in New Zealand, we are the perfect 6 million people testing zone. You know, we're quite far away from everything. If it works in New Zealand, then we can test run it in Australia or America, other Western countries, and we know that it will probably be quite successful. Man, that situation was 100% successful, probably 1,000% successful in New Zealand as far as the divide and conquer situation goes, and the sheep mentality of I'll do what I'm told to do.
Right.
There was only a handful of people that were like, no, I'm not doing that. And what a beautiful little setup for them. So now you've got these data centers coming into New Zealand, flowing in left, right, and center, and we are signing petitions going, we don't want that.
How's that going resistance-wise? Because they're literally arresting people at town halls over here in the U.S.
Oh, really? No, well, you can't arrest.
There was one gal, she's literally was asking the board, she said, has any of you, and she's very specific, have any of you had any talkings with Palantir, this thing, or that thing? An email, text, or phone call. Have you had any talks, whatever? We don't have to answer that. This is not the time or place. She's like, this is definitely the time or place. I'm asking you if somebody's buying you out so that you putting these stuff in our town and nobody wants it. And they would not answer her question. And I'm like, see, this is, they're compromised. I call them political prostitutes because they care more about a corporation's interest over their constituents. If that's what your representative is, they got to go. They got to go. They're compromised. Again, money. Eliminate money, and you will abolish half of the incentives for corruption, coercion, and conformity.
100%. Money is the root of all evil.
Love of it.
I love it. It's so
Would
good.
Judas have betrayed Christ if 30 pieces of silver was not on the table? He threw it back at the end. He realized this component was not what I want. I don't want coins. I want Christ. How many people are willing to do that today? And they're over here pointing fingers at him.
Yeah. Well, do you know who else has moved into New Zealand? A guy called Peter Thiel.
Is that where he went?
That's where he is. Yeah. And we're all like, take your ass out of here. I don't want to get in trouble. We're already in trouble, let's be honest. But yeah, so New Zealand has huge number of underground bunkers that have been built, all sorts of very interesting things going on in New Zealand. And it does kind of make me go, okay, is there a World War III? Is there a nuclear something going on? Are we screwing with something that's outside in space that's going to come in and destroy us? Or is this all just part of Project Bluebeam? Are we buying into this situation so much? Are they going to go underground, do you know what I mean? Like those movies of keep all the celebrities and the billionaires safe for 90 days and then they can all come back out.
I have a theory though about that because what we were just saying with portals and whatnot.
Yeah.
We were talking about the flood.
Oh.
Maybe they built underground caverns to survive said flood, and now God says He's going to burn the earth the next time round. So what with we're following what the Nephilim demons slain bodies, right? We're following what the demons are telling us.
Sure.
So we're just going to build underground bunkers like them. I've been calling them. They're like the new mausoleums. They're very elaborate, very nice, but you put a truckload of cement in the front. I've been seeing a meme of a monkey, like the billionaire seeing me dump like a thing of cement and just going like, "Oh crap!" on his security camera.
Fixes the problems.
It's like, well, again, God says this, that they're going to build tunnels and stuff like that into the earth. It's not going to work for them. They're going to wish that a mountain had crushed them. It's like, guys, yeah, like I know you guys have the money to build all these underground cities, right, or safe houses, whatever you want to call it.
Cities,
but
like cities, right?
You have to wipe out 90% of humanity. Like I said, they only need 5 million in order for this to work. But you have to burn up most of the planet or Earth, whatever you want to go with for people listening. You're gonna have to burn up most of that, and then on top of that, when you emerge, do you have the seeds to replant? Is the ground even going to be fertile enough for you to do that? As well, you only have 5 million slaves.
Yeah.
Is that enough? I mean, you got a lot of Earth. We got like what 8 billion people currently walking the circumference. So you get rid of the majority of them. Doesn't that mean you won't be able to keep up with all of the grass and stuff like that if it regrew? You got that option, right? You see all these dystopian cities. Like if you're not in a city for like 6 to 8 months, it overgrows with vegetation. It's just a natural thing. So while they're planning that, it's like this is not natural and it's not normal. God's creation would beat you in the end.
Sure, yeah.
And again, on top of that, you got a huge resistant force. I truly think there's going to be a resistance. I do not think it's going to go as smoothly as they're anticipating. I don't care how many they lock up. There is enough people awake where they're like, this doesn't feel right anymore. Most of my generation, which is about a decade younger than yours, roughly, we're pissed.
Yeah.
We're done working. We're done living in our mom and dad's basement. We're done that we can't afford a house or get married or even go on a date. We're done. Yeah. We want to have revenge. Not that I'm advocating violence. I'm saying, but we want to freaking fix it. Yeah, and if you're going to push me in a corner, it's like, putting a possum up against the wall, rolling a basketball towards him. He's got nowhere else to go. He's going to rip up that basketball. That's basically what they're doing to us. And we're just saying, please get off my back. I'm giving you all the warning signs.
Yeah.
They're not listening.
Do you know what's really awesome? I love the fact that your generation feels like that, because our generation is just like hyped up on coffee, no sleep, and like anger. So we will back you. The moment that you guys go, we'll be like straight in there, man. Like we'll be like wave number 2, and they'll be like, "Oh dear God, we're so sorry, we woke them up."
It's like, you know what? I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, but you're right. I'm done. They took away my coffee.
Yeah. You know what? I've spent 45 years on this earth, and it's not been easy, man. Like, take me back to my 20s where I was having a great old time, drunk most of the time, and life was good. Now, adulting is tough. And now I have to worry about fucking data centers, and like turning, my land into a jail cell, essentially. And I'm not happy with that. And I potentially will chop some trees down.
Well, again, you're raising a kid through all of that. For me, it's like when people's like, "Well, you want to birth the kid?" It's like, well, I think I'd always be willing to do that because that's what God said: "Go forth, be fruitful, and multiply." Aside from that, it's like they're already taking away seeds out of most of your fruits and vegetables, so you're not able to regrow it. But on top of that, they're now creating feminist society where it's so, like women are laughing that like, oh yeah, we have the power. We're not having any more kids. Cool. In 40 years, 30 years, when you're old and you're now having to go to a nursing home, there's going to be nobody to take care of you because you decided to all not have kids simultaneously.
Yeah.
Do you see how you just shot yourself in the foot? Now when you're old and decrepit, you're going to be asking the other old and decrepit lady to freaking help you, and you'll both fall down the stairs together. And don't expect me to cry for you, boomer number 2.
But do you know what? Don't worry, because there will be a her that will come and wipe my ass, okay? There will be. If it's not my child, there'll be somebody else that has gone from your side to my side, okay?
Well, again, that's what
like a toaster or something worthwhile like that.
it's like make heterosexuality great again. I don't know. it's
a real weird space that we live in, like, and look, like we giggle and we joke and we do all these sort of things. We've got friends all over the show that are gay, lesbian, trans, whatever.
yeah.
They don't identify themselves as, hi, I'm trans and my name is. That's not how it works. And I know so many
It shouldn't.
that are just
I was trying to explain it to my buddy Manny. I was like, dude, I'm not for it, biblically speaking. But the best part is, unlike the Christian nationalists, I'm not going to impose or coerce or tell you can't do that. If you want to do it, go for it. But please, for the love of God, don't introduce yourself like, hi, I'm trans. I want you to always think of me and what I do in the bedroom. What? That's honestly what you're doing when you're introducing your sexuality as the preface of how I should respect you as an individual. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not a voyeurer. I don't think like that. It's like even when I see a couple, I'm not thinking immediately, oh, I wonder what they did last night in the bedroom. That's just weird.
It's 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, and you want me to think of you in a genitalial sense? Like, this is...
Yeah. And it's not even the people that are introducing them like that. It's the freaking media and the government saying you have to acknowledge that. And it's like, no, they don't want me to acknowledge that. They want me to say, hey, Mike, how you doing? Like,
right.
You're just Mike. Like I have no want to know anything other than you're my bro, your name's Mike, let's go get a coffee and talk shit. Full stop.
Right.
Like, and that's, there's so many things that when you start kind of putting the little FBI board with the red threads and the pins together, so many connections, right? And it's not hard to make those connections. It's not like you're pulling teeth to kind of go, yeah, there might be a connection here. There's like bloody plenty of it, and they're thick as hell, and you're just like, oh my God, this is literally where we're going to. It's kind of fucking scary.
It's scary. The thing is, like,
kind of scary.
It's more so scary because, like, everyone's like, well, you have a lot of friends online. I'm like, yeah, but that's a problem. You're all the way over into New Zealand. I'd have to cross, 5,000 something miles of just dirt. Then I'd have to cross a whole freaking ocean. And then I finally land. And then hopefully I'm not picked up either when I left or when I land because of, the tracking stuff. Like,
and hopefully you don't have a massive wall hanging in your backpack, like one of those giant wall hangings. Because you'll get picked up. Carry on. Sorry.
It's things like that. It's like, it pisses me off that everybody's so far away, and the only way we're able to connect is through digital. It's like, this is honestly where I'm experiencing the burnout, because I know other people are out there. The downside is why are we all so sparsed out at the same time? You don't want to put all the rotten eggs in the basket for them.
Yeah, because blow up Ohio, something.
Hey, George Carlin had a thing going with all of that. I think he had some merit. All the crazy people in these states that fence it in. But yeah, I think that's what really pisses me off. And I'm like, I'm almost wanting, not necessarily like stand up, but just go around and do like consultation stand up, or like you just ask like, what's your thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
And not that everybody's going to be agreeing with it, but it's like, if there's other people in every community are like, I have nobody to connect with. I have nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
Why don't we have meetups like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't have to be anything really serious. It can just be people in a cafe together or in a wherever, connecting.
A potluck, for crying out loud.
And I honestly think and that was something that we talked about a while ago, through our membership, through our CWS membership, is how do we get people together, and the AI kind of content that's coming out onto the social media now. Nobody wants to see that shit. We are done with the AI stuff. We're done with the bullshit videos that are coming out and the slop that's coming out. And we were discussing how people are probably going to want to come back into small groups, like trusted arenas, especially with things like cryptozoology, with paranormal investigation, with ufology. Show me the truth. Like in these small groups of people that I trust, that I know are getting content from real sources, they're credible, they're checking, they're bringing receipts, all that sort of stuff. How do I find those little small groups where I can get out of the mainstream bloody algorithm of scrolling through crap and just being sucked into it? And that's why when you said, don't you see stuff on YouTube in New Zealand and this sort of stuff? so much rubbish that I have to scroll through to try and find anything worthwhile. I'm like, I'll just go back to the people that I trust, aka yourself.
Right.
The team from Cult of Conspiracy, the guys over in like the cryptozoology field, Brittany Barbieri, Heather Amaro on Discovery Channel, Expedition X, Stacey Osorio, all of our team members that we just go, man, you guys are doing the mahi, which is what we call work over in New Zealand. You're doing the work, your boots on the ground, you're bringing really, really cool stuff to the table. And I know that it's credible because you've done the research. You bring the receipts back. And it doesn't matter what your opinion is, what your viewpoint is, or what perception or what view you come from, it's still credible. And that's something that I can kind of go, okay, cool. Do I grip onto that? Do I leave that piece? Do I take that part with me? How does that work with my belief systems? Where does that go to? And I think everyone needs to be in that space. So 100%, like I totally agree with getting together with small groups and actually sharing good information.
Knowledge is like food, and what you just described. I remember one time I was brought to a Indian buffet thing, and my buddy Sam, he's Chinese. He was asking, he's like, "Why did you get a little bit of every one of those like this thing?" It's like, we're Americans. That's what we do. We go around and we sample everything that's there. And there was this one particular sauce that was so freaking spicy. I was like, "No, I'll never." He's like, "Why'd you get it?" I said, "Because I had to sample it. I had to see if this is something I'm going to want to put on the rest of my meal, as opposed to just go." And it's like, no, now I just ruined the whole meal because it's not palatable. And this is what people are supposed to do with information, like you just said. In the very least, did you try to read a book on the topic that this person said, like, this would be a good resource for you? No. So where are you basing your opinion off of? Well, this person said this. It's like, okay, without the pundit, what do you think?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to think. Like, it's like, I'm not asking you to do that. So it's like a potluck. It's like, well, sister so and so brought this. You know what? This is really good. It's a family recipe. You gonna tell me what it is? No, but I'll keep showing up, bringing it. Okay, I'm gonna be here, and I want that every single time you're here.
Yeah.
That is how we should be enjoying our society. When we come together, is everybody's pulling something. Some people will be a little bit too much. I get that, but you should be respectful to say, I'll at least sample a little something on my plate before I throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's the part that pisses me off, because a lot of people, I think, they just auto-eject, and they're doing themselves a great disservice. Like some people say, why do you have this person on your show? If I didn't talk to somebody like this, some of the questions that he came up with, you never would have heard, because you're only hearing what you want to hear. So sometimes I need to talk to somebody controversial in order for something to get prompted to be said. Right?
100%. Yeah, otherwise you just get stuck in this echo chamber of I believe, because I know, because I'm right, because I'm the best, because I'm looking into a mirror all the time and I'm not actually looking out into the world and seeing it for what it is.
So you always match exactly what I'm saying. I like jiving with you. That's exactly the word phrasing I was looking for.
It's literally just an across the world connection. Oh God.
Which is weird. Again, via technology, but again, it could be utilized for good and it could be utilized for bad. Most people, unfortunately, they're utilizing it for bad.
Hey, I have a question spurring off that real quick.
Uh-oh.
I know. We had an experience once of being attacked, having like a spiritual attack through technology, right? On a Zoom call, like a video call. It was really, really weird. It was very odd. I've never experienced something like that before, but there was definite attack going on through technology from the other person that we were talking to. After talking to you about AI and technology and what that actually means and what it looks like, what do you think these negative entities, do you think they can use technology as far as that sort of stuff goes? And do you think they can use that? Maybe that's the question.
Use technology to harass?
Yeah. Do you think that
100%. I mean, they do that already with, like, again, I have not had any uptake in followers for the most part on Instagram, unless they're like from India or something like that. Not that I have anything problem with anybody from India, but it's kind of making me go like, why is it a country that doesn't even speak my native tongue all following me with a bombardment? I was like, for the most part, it stayed at like 12,200. Why? They've capped me. They don't want me reaching other people. When my buddy, I got kicked off of TikTok, I think it was like 2 years ago. He tried to share a clip of a podcast episode. We didn't say anything vulgaric. We didn't, accuse the special people in the chosen land. We didn't say anything of that nature. But the minute my face popped up, even though he tagged me as Justin Bieber, I was immediately taken back off again. Why? Because my face is on there.
Yeah.
They recognize it. So if you're asking, do they harass through technology? Abso-fraggin-lutely, I think they do. There's a lot of times I will start a show and it'll be like, yeah, this only happens when I do a show with this kind of person. Like something will crash on their end. There'll be a scratchy thing. I think I did Nephilim Death Squad one time, and there was, I think I saved that clip, where there was like a sound that went off in the background. It was like, what the hell was that? And you see me without skipping a beat. Probably just a demon we pissed off. Keeps on going.
Yeah.
It happens so frequently. I'm kind of numb to it. Could I explore it? Sure. At this point, it's just kind of like a shrug. I think it's this. I'm just, why overthink it? Because then I'll get paranoid.
Yeah. It's real wild, when things like that happen, or you get things through the audio and that sort of stuff. It's definitely happened to us as well. And every time we talk about alien stuff, we tend to get cut off, or we get really bad technical issues, freezing, all that sort of stuff. Which is really interesting, because we talk about like haunted houses or paranormal stuff or cryptids, no major, but the alien stuff, without doubt, always get cut.
Interesting, considering you said you have no Air Force bases near you. So what harm could you possibly do out in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah. And that's why, like, whenever we see UFOs and things like that in the sky in New Zealand, we're like, well, it's probably real, because the only other option is, other international military kind of flyovers or secret military bases in New Zealand, or whatever else. But the likelihood is it's just not, because we don't have any fighter jets. We don't have any of that. Only helicopters. They make noise.
Lots of noise.
Lots of noise. So it's always really, really interesting. And we've had some pretty amazing sights. I've seen a lot of UFOs in the skies in New Zealand, like I said before we started, pardon me. But a lot of rainbow colored, kind of what you would think is a drone, but it's like this plasma ball thing that I've seen numerous times, and it's like kind of rainbow colors, and it's really just insane, and it will just sit in one spot forever.
What's the official explanation for that over there? What are they saying it is? Nothing?
Nothing. It's nothing, because they don't track, they can't track them on the air, the plane radars and that sort of stuff. That there's actually nothing there.
There's
Oh yeah, Brandon. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and in New Zealand, at least we have UFO files and reports and that sort of stuff. In Australia, they have one page, because the rest of them got lost.
One page. I'm sorry, but this is do you know the etymology for the word conspiracy?
No.
It comes from the Italian Latin conspirio, which means to conspire together or to breathe together is the original. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me that even hypothesizing that some other people are breathing some bad words with each other, or taking and redacting words that I'm not supposed to read, you're telling me I'm overthinking that?
And I'm the conspiracy theorist?
Right. It's like this just disappeared. Like, again, they're like, oh, we just lost all the information on how to get back to space. Like, who goofed up? Who spilled coffee on that? I seriously would like to know, because that's like the Valdez spill, the oil spill. If somebody goofs up like that, I want to know the name of the guy that did that. Thank you. Like, again, this is technology that is allegedly supposed to help us reach the stars, and we just lost that. Who goofed up in the office? I want the story. Well, we can't tell you that. So again, now I'm suspicious. So it's like, if this was an honest to God accident, how come you can't tell me who did it? It's like if your kid did something. It's like, okay, well, the cookie jar was here. Now all the cookies are gone. You're the only person in the room that has crumbs on your face. What am I supposed to think?
Yeah, what is going on here? Absolutely. Yeah, and so when the Australian government or the Royal Air Force in Australia goes, oh, yeah, by the way, we've only got one page left, and it's a cover. It's literally the picture of the cover.
It's a cover. It's a cover.
It's
like a pun, too. It's a cover-up, quite literally.
You can't make this shit up, hey? You just cannot make it up.
It's like, lie to
And
me. Like, well, again, this is. I sent that to the guy that did the interview with me about the conspiracy thing. I said I sent him a highlight. It was talking about gaslighting, and I put a caption over it. I said, "This is our government." Oh, what you saw is not real. Oh, you're just overthinking it. Oh, that's your problem. It's like, what the hell?
answer the
Now we have
question.
people do it. I'm not crazy. I saw what I saw. Just give me an explanation. Oh, you're overthinking it. Oh, God.
Yeah,
Talk
talking
about a
about mental
toxic
health issues.
relationship.
Yeah, a toxic relationship with my government. Yeah, 100%. And then you ask for. I actually spoke to a really awesome chick yesterday called Violetta. She's an author over in Australia, and she is currently researching really old cases, historical cases of UFO encounters and that sort of stuff. Super clever chick. And she's like, man, the roadblocks that I've come up against to try and research, because Australia has a lot of restrictions in place around Google searching and internet and all of that sort of stuff. A lot of restrictions in comparison to us. And basically everything just gets whitewashed, like you Google search once and then it's not there anymore. And
yep.
Gone.
That's why I take screenshots like freaking crazy, because it's like, this might not be there next month or next week.
100%.
Tomorrow.
You're like, where's it gone? Like, I know it doesn't go, so where's it gone?
I mean, they already
blocked.
Sorry,
no,
she's... Go ahead.
I was just going to say she's just being blocked left, right, and center in regards to trying to find any sort of documentation, or she'll have a screenshot where she's like, this is it, and I know that you published this, go and find it for me. And they say, oh, well, we actually can't. And she's like, why not? It's here. Here's the screenshot of it. It's here. Just find it. And maybe they refuse to.
No, if what I've been seeing, what was it? With Walmart here in the States, they're putting on like digital price tags so that they can change the price of whatever they want. And I'm like, well, that seems sus. So I know they're already doing this on Amazon, that they based it off of your interests. Like a guy was showing me from real time, said, I looked up this goat soap. So I saved it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. They told me it was, you're getting this much of a discount, blah, 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 blah. He's like, all right, cool. He goes over to another family member and goes on their Amazon account, and it was actually $2 less than what he was searching and saved in his cart. And he's going, so if I'm the guy that's the avid soap lover with this particular brand and stuff like that, but they're charging me this and they're telling me they're saving me this, but another family member that's never browsed this before, it's only $3. He's like, so where exactly did... And I was going, crap. So they're already doing that with what you save in your boxes. There are, again, data collectors. We can determine how, like Price Chopper got caught on that. That they were basically people who had like Apple products or something like that versus Android. They would amp up the price tag on how much you were paying at the grocery store, because that means you had a bigger wallet to afford the bigger technology. I was like, so what? You're literally just saying because I'm able to afford more that you can screw me over with everything else in the future? Screw you.
So they do that down here with airplane tickets, right? So in New Zealand, we have one main air carrier, so Air New Zealand, and we have a carrier called Jetstar, which is just shithouse and nobody travels on it, right? Because they're like, what are they, like Tiger or whatever? They're just real bad. Yeah. And so depending on where you buy your tickets from, location wise, and then outside of New Zealand, you can jump into a different IP address or location, and you can get like $400 off your flight. So it's terrible. So if you live in like a big city or whatever, all of a sudden your price tag is through the fucking roof. But if you buy it from somewhere else that is a low demographic or whatever else, super cheap.
So again, for people who are kind of more on the light side of things, is it a conspiracy to use the VPN to save yourself a buck because this is a real thing? So again, even like I said this to a kid the other day, because he's again just graduating high school. I was like, you have so much to learn, my young Padawan. But he was replying to me in the comment section. He's like, I don't do conspiracy theories. I said, I'm not talking about the Alex Jones variety. I'm saying what's going on in our society. And when you hear conspiracy, replace it with corporations, because we know they're screwing people over. Do you don't think corporations can collab? Right? And screw people over and making a profit off of the people? It's like, look into the new, because he had proud leftist. I was like, look into the new left. That was in the 1960s, 70s. Not that I'm promoting political party, but at the ideologies, we're anti-war, we're anti-big this, we're anti-big that. I'm like, try to get into that, because they're the ones that are screwing you over. And if getting a VPN is conspiracy, well then You can't be in my friend group. I'm sorry.
And honestly, the only way that I get to watch the cool TV shows is with a VPN. Okay,
Wait, seriously?
we can't watch anything cool down here. Like, we don't get Finding Bigfoot, any of the supernatural shows, nothing. Zero. Ooh, look at me, zero.
So bullshit.
Yeah. So I have to literally black market that stuff or get it on a VPN.
I support the pirate black market. I am not afraid to say that. I don't care if you want to cancel me, YouTube. You guys suck. I'm sorry. People deserve to have again, if you want to watch it, go for it. Knock yourself out.
Yeah. I agree. I'm all about pirates. I like pirates. I was a pirate in my former life. I swear a lot and I drink rum. It's a true story.
Maybe a truck driver. Sorry.
Yeah. Brandon, holy shit, man. We gotta go. It's time to wrap this mother up. You are friggin' amazing. I love everything that you bring to the table. We're on the same crazy little wavelength going on. Our brains are attuned. And I like that. And I think we should do round number 3 at some point soon. Yeah, should we do that? Maybe we'll have a topic to talk about, but what's the point? Because we'll never stay on topic, let's be honest.
I'm like a hot air balloon. I had a guy, I'll close with this. I had a guy that's telling me he wanted me to write like the PowerPoints of exactly what we would be discussing in the show. I was like, do you know how hard that is for somebody like me? To write you a PowerPoint, a point, and on top of that, how are you going to research for somebody like me? I'm like so out there into the weeds, you can't research my kind of stuff.
You can't research this.
You can't research this, man. I'm unpredictable. I'm the wild card. That crazy cannon thing, whatever, loose cannon, that thing, that's me. They call me Crazy Kroll for a reason, brother.
You just crack me up. My God, if you all are still with us right now, you are a winner. Like, I think you should just let us know in the comments that you're still with us, and I'll send you out a t-shirt or something worthwhile, because well done. Like, you're bang on, guys and girls. Brandon, you're amazing. Tell us where we can find you. I'm actually going to drop your Patreon just about here.
There, that is very helpful. People would be surprised, $3 to $5 a month. Like I've told people, think about it for the whole year. Like, I can't do like $60 lump. Well, if you're like subscriptions or things of worthwhile, you can do $3 to $5 a month on that. It's capped at 10, but some people do more, and thank God that they do, because they're covering it for everybody else. It's honestly like $1.20 per week. It's like an old newspaper from the 1960s, 70s. You can't go wrong. It's like tipping a waitress for an entire month. That's kind of what I'm saying. So you want to support on Patreon, Cash App, and the other stuff. I think I can send you that slide that I have. And then Mana Daily Podcast, Spotify, Rumble, YouTube. Find me on all those platforms. And again, just typing in my name, Brandon Kroll. You'll probably find me on BitChute and a few other places too. And thanks for having me on. This was a blast.
Oh, I just had the best time ever, and I always do with you. I mean, this is our second time that we've hung out together, and I'm all on my lonesome today, and you made me feel very hosty. I appreciate it. I'm not very good at the whole interview hosty thing, but I try my best. So I kind of figure, so long as you've had a good time and the listeners have had a great time alongside, then I've done my job well. And if you want to come and be a part of Cryptid Women's Society, all you got to do is follow the Patreon link at the bottom there, Cryptid Women's Society International. We are also on Patreon. Whoop, whoop. And this episode is going to be up there probably in maybe 2 Saturdays will drop. And then it will go out onto YouTube, so long as we don't get banned, because, you know, it's a 50-50. We shall see. Brandon, give us a wee diamond to leave on, something that you need everyone to know, everyone to do, whatever it is, just a wee little sprinkle of diamonds.
Okay. Just because there's a fork in the road doesn't mean you have to eat dirt.
Oh my God. It's so good. God, it's so good.
So cheesy, I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck, I love it.
Yes, that is original.
Oh, you came up with that? Wow. And this is where my brain goes, everyone. Do you know what, Brandon? I reckon you should put together a quote book, like a coffee table.
I've actually been compiling some stuff. Like, I had another one where it was these days when it comes to the dating scene, I feel like I have to dumb myself down in order to just fit in. Unfortunately, I'm not smart enough to be stupid.
True story.
I try so hard to be stupid sometimes. I really do.
I know, and you just don't fit in. Me too.
I'm like, I used to be the guy in the classroom that was like, the class clown, as they called me. Now it's like I'm trying to be so stupid. I can't break anything. It's like, man, what do I have to do?
What do I gotta do to fit in?
With normies, they're crazy people.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I tell you what, that's why you've got to have friends like me.
Yes.
Friends like me.
Really appreciative.
And we're all in it together. Brandon, you are amazing. Thank you everyone for joining us. Make sure you go and share and like, and let's get Brandon over on Instagram past the 12,000 mark and back into mainstream America, because currently he's hanging out in India. So
in the Netherlands.
And the Netherlands, apparently.
Who the frick knows where that is? Looking at it.
Also, by the way, well done, the Netherlands. I'm impressed. You are the man. Stick around, Brandon. We'll say goodbye off here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Check in on Patreon for our exclusive drops. And then we will be posting these puppies up on YouTube Monday Eastern 8 p.m. and Tuesday lunchtime New Zealand time. So we will see y'all real soon. Bye, everyone. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Bye.